Hi there, it's Tuesday the 15th of June 2021. This month we have been asking the question, is God in control of the world today? And on church on Sunday there we were looking at God's will and how God works out His will in this world. And this week we're asking the question, how does God work out His will in our lives? And in particular we're going to be looking at the life of Joseph in the Bible. From the book of Genesis, and we're going to be looking at how God worked out His will in Joseph's life. The first thing we're going to consider is that God reveals His will to us. Now, God has revealed His will through the Bible. From beginning to end, He shows us what He wants of us, how He wants us to live, and we can apply all of that to our lives, and in that way we will be living out God's will in our lives. But of course God sometimes has very particular things which He wants us to do in our lives, and He reveals His will for us individually, as He did for Joseph. And we can read about that in Genesis 37 verses 5 to 7. Joseph had a dream. You know the story well, of course. And when he told it to his brothers, they hated him all the more, and he said to them, "Listen to the dream that I had. We were binding sheaves of corn out in the field when suddenly my sheaf rose and stood upright, while your sheaves gathered round mine and bowed down to it." And of course his brothers didn't like that dream very much, because it implied that they were going to one day bow down to Joseph somehow, that Joseph was better than them. But what it was God revealing His will for Joseph. And it was indeed God's will for Joseph that one day all those around him would bow down to him, that he would rise up to a figure of prominence. And of course he did that in his life. He became eventually the prime minister, as it were, of Egypt, second only to Pharaoh. And so God's will was revealed to Joseph. When I was 18 to 19 years old, I spent quite a lot of time praying and seeking God and just bringing myself and my life to God, in one sense at the beginning of my adult life, for Him, and just asking Him what He wanted me to do. And through that period of time God spoke to me in different ways to reveal what His will was going to be for my life. And very many times through the first book of Jeremiah God spoke to me. Sometimes people would come up to me and actually say, "I've been in prayer for you and I feel I should read out these verses for you." And they would all be the same verses which just confirm God speaking to me. And it was that God had set me apart from a mother's womb, that I was appointed to be a prophet to the nations and to speak His word and so forth. And so I knew that there was a calling on my life to minister for God, to be a minister of the gospel, as it were. And that's what I have pursued in my life, and that's what I am right now. So God does reveal His will to us. Whatever His will for you is in your life, God has a plan and a purpose for your life. Not just to follow His word, but of course that is His will for all of us. Not just to love Him and love others, but He has something in particular for you. I wonder if you know what that is. Maybe it's simply to be the best parent that you can be, or a good worker in your field using your hands and the skills that God has given you. God bless you as He reveals His will to you.